guy has a heating and air conditioning company in Columbus, Ohio right now.
Oh, that's right.
You call it, there's a chance he shows up and actually just lifts a new furnace right into your house.
That's right. Yep.
Properly jocked, still works out with the Ohio State football team, has a morning show in Columbus for 4 hours still every single morning, talking Ohio State and college football. An absolute stallion, former NFLer, college football legend. Ladies and gentlemen, the General, Bob Carpenter.
Hey, Pat, now let me tell you this. I know there's been some issues, and I think your conspiracy stuff might be right on point. I mean, you watched Hard Knocks. You saw Aaron start to expose all the aliens, and all of a sudden, dude, poof, and gone.
Whoa.
Think about it.
Bubby.
Put it right there.
Shit.
Why'd you do that to me?
Bubby's onto something.
Bob, why'd you do that to me? Why'd you put it in here? You just put it in here. Now I got to think about
exposing aliens right
I don't
now.
need that, Bobby.
They're just trying to put a ceiling on you, man. Don't let them put the ceiling on you. You got to burst through that thing.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
That's right.
Bursting through these ceilings. Speaking of doing that, I've had the incredible opportunity to having a front row seat to the biggest college football games every single weekend in the last couple of years. And re-diving into college football has been awesome. It has been so much fun getting a chance to experience the celebration and shenanigans of college football as a fan, as opposed to a player that was going into these places, and actually getting a chance to go learn has been awesome. But we know that no matter what we say about college football, will not be judged as harshly as your top five. Yep. Welcome back. We can't wait to hear the changes that you've made and who you have at your top five this week. And if you sit too close to the camera, there's a sun coming through somewhere. It looks like you got a bunch of white stuff on the tip of your nose.
Yes.
I'm not going to point things together, but there's going to be people that are saying Colombian Bam Bam is something that you tried. You need to stay back and get that thing off there. The General's top five for this beautiful week looks like what, General Bob?
Well, here we go. You guys want to start at 1? You want to start at 5? Where do you want to go with
5?
We'll start at 5. We'll work our way up. We're going to start with number 5, the Florida State Seminoles. Making their way in. We talked about their big game that they were going to have against the LSU Tigers. They came out and they absolutely dominated. Jordan Travis has been electric. Last week they smoked Southern Miss, and it looks like they got it done in the trenches. I knew Florida State had the skill position players. You thought they had the QB. But what they did in the second half against LSU was very impressive.
Okay, so obviously Florida State seems to have the dudes, too, to go on a run, just like we've seen with another school this past weekend that battled in Tuscaloosa. Yep. I assume they're going to make an appearance. Who's at number 4?
Number 4, I got Michigan. They're sitting in there. They've done a good job. They've played well thus far. J.J. McCarthy's thrown the ball well. Donovan Edwards, Blake Corum, they've looked good. They haven't really played anybody yet. And that's what's tough early in the season, is trying to figure this thing out. And so you don't want to penalize teams for looking as they should, or maybe playing average against some below average competition. But Michigan is taking care of business. They're where they need to be. They're going to get Jim Harbaugh back here soon. And I think that should help them get on a run as they get into this Big Ten schedule.
AJ, how do you feel about that from a school up north? Oh.
I think that's Bob just showing that he's not, he's not a complete homer towards Ohio State. Now we'll see what number 1 is, but yeah, I think it's good to put Michigan in there.
Who's number 3, General?
All right, it's the game that you guys were at. And people have been saying this, folks, for the last 15 years. Texas is back. It has been the big mantra. So we're going to go with the University of Texas Longhorns.
Congratulations, Texas.
Oh, baby.
You fellas were at the game. I'm going to tell you, everyone wants to talk about Quinn Ewers and how great it was. Man, he can throw a phenomenal deep ball. But what it is, Pat, is you saw it up front. AJ, you saw those guys. Their front four, their defensive line, it looked like someone taped a T-bone to the side of Jalen Milroe's head. And those were just a bunch of hungry dogs out there trying to get after it, doing everything they could, man. It was unreal in the second half what they were able to get done.
Matthew McConaughey was on the sideline sending the vibes from the moon through his horn, through his body, through his tricep that he was throwing out right there. Whenever he joined us, that Xavier Worthy touchdown from Quinn Ewers right in front of us, that was an awesome moment.
Yeah.
That was an incredible moment.
Right there.
I assume it's going to show up in something whenever he writes about, because he's a big firm believer in the universe.
Oh, yeah.
Putting things together.
Manifesting things, yeah.
What an honor to be there. And shout out to Matthew McConaughey's Texas Longhorn team. Number 3 in the country, says the General Bob Carpenter. Damn. I think they can go on a run, too. Yeah. Bob, they got the pieces to go, I think. They're big enough.
Coach, they got everything that they need. They got the D-line. They've got the O-line. They've got a quarterback. You've seen the skill position players. This Texas team, I think they're going to win the Big 12. And if they don't make it to the CFP, they're going to have only themselves to blame because this is a team that is gassed up, Coach, and ready to go. All right, all right, all right.
Yeah, hell
Number
yeah.
2.
Let's go.
We're going to go with the Georgia Bulldogs, Carson Beck-led team. They smoked Ball State last week. They're the defending national champs, 2-time defending national champs. They've got everything they need. Their schedule is going to be tough because we're not going to really get a chance to see anything from them for quite some time. So we're just going to have to continue to believe because you know what? Man, they've been rolling for the last 2 years, and I'm not going to put them in the grave until they prove me wrong.
Okay, so obviously they've won back-to-back national championships.
Right.
Still undefeated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Still have new quarterback. Same coach, though, same system. Number 2 in the country, obviously. Hey, to get to number 1 on the General's top 5, it ain't no easy task.
No.
Because at number 1 it is?
It is your one and only Ohio State Buckeyes. And until they do something to prove otherwise, they finally picked their starting quarterback. They've got Kyle McCord in there now. They got Marvin Harrison Jr. going. And listen, I know that we're talking about NFL first-round draft picks, top 3 guys. I saw Pat Shador Sanders' NFL legacy. Coach, one of the best receivers of all time. His son is here, and he might be better than him. So they've got everything they need. His high school quarterback, Kyle McCord, now officially the starter. I anticipate they're going to be ready to go. And we're going to start to see this trajectory, Coach. It's going to be like a ski slope.
Well, ski
Right to the
with
top.
with that light.
Good whistle.
The way this whole thing started with that light.
Yeah.
Now I'm talking ski
It's a
slope.
downhill skier.
Okay.
Okay.
I like that.
What are you laughing at, Bob?
Congrats to the Ohio State Buckeyes being number 1 in the General's poll. Now, he lives in Columbus, hosts a show in Columbus.
Right.
And honestly, hey, Ohio State against the same Georgia team that won by 55 in the national championship, right? A lot of returning pieces or a lot of new parts? Because I heard that Ohio State fans aren't believers this year in this Ohio State team.
Pat, it's the greatest tragedy of all. When you play high-level college football, everybody expects you to be great every single week. Ryan Day has done something, and every year they get better and better as the season goes on. So I'm going to trust the fact that he knows what he's doing. He's had 3 first-round quarterbacks in a row. Kyle McCord will get there. It's going to take some time. They got to get the D-line going a little bit this week. But next weekend, man, they're going to be up in South Bend, Indiana, taking on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, which will be the premier game in all of college football in about 10 days. So I am super juiced for that one.
Yeah, your top 5 is going to get tested by Marcus Freeman, Sam Hartman.
Wow.
I mean, they got a team up there, pal. All right, we appreciate the hell out of you, General. Great to see you. We missed you last week.
You got time for my double shot?
Oh, double? What?
What? Thought it was.
All right, listen, I got my double shot favorite, my double shot special this week because everybo's been in a situation where
Oh, the Vince Carter riser.
Where's the riser,
Vince Carter
Bob?
riser.
we got the riser with Vince Carter. This week it's going to be the double shot because Pat, you go to get your buddy a drink and you come back, you're like, man, he needs to have a good time. You tell the bartender, make it a double. And they get something a little unexpected when they put that thing to their lips and all of a sudden, bam, hey, who ordered me this? And that right there is the Colorado Buffaloes with everything they've done. They came out of nowhere this week, Coach. 2 weeks in a row. TCU, then Nebraska. You thought that the first sip was, oh, okay, it's a little strong. Let me dive back in a little more. And that thing knocks you down. Shador Sanders has thrown for 900 yards, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions, and it's been basically flawless. Dude has been remarkable. I didn't think that they'd be cracking the top 25 this year, but man, they got a tough schedule, and they might be in the top 10, and you might be walking with one leg shorter than the other after you get done drinking with them.
Okay. Hey, I love everything about it. Ladies and gentlemen, the General Bob Carpenter.
Unreal.
I did not know that was coming.
No,
I
that's
obviously
great.
So it's going to be
clearly
different.
Time for my double shot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I heard about it earlier. Like, hey, there's a double shot, and I was like, no, I like the Vince Carter riser.
Perfect.
And then they're like, no, it's a double shot. I'm like, no, I like the Vince Carter riser. Like I respect Vince Carter, And then now his explanation, is that going to be every week? Hey, this week, this is the tight pants team.
Yeah, you got time for tight pants?
Yeah, you think you're comfortable, but then all of a sudden it gets up to your waist and it's a little bit tighter than you thought. This team will take you into the fourth quarter and go, is that what he's going to do? I like that he's exploring the space.
Yeah.
He better do that. Yeah, Bob's a very creative person, so I would assume he's going to try to come up with a new one every single week. And the best thing is, the more we gas him up and let him know it's a good idea, I think the more he puts into it.
I think the General's still on. Hey, General.
And baby General.
Way to go.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.